this podcast a couple of days back, but I just did not have the willpower or the mood to talk for hours. Some days you just don't feel like talking. It was one of those days, and I tried to push through. I did the whole setup. I was ready to even shoot, but because I did not feel like shooting it that day, the universe just messed everything up. It was like the noisiest day ever, and shooting was just not feasible that day. Anyway, it was not meant to be. Today I'm in a much, much better mood and I feel like talking because I had like a 2-shot cappuccino and I feel really buzzed. I wanted to talk about my latest thought scratcher and some things that I've learned, over the years. Not over the years, I'm still learning them. It's just something you come across as and when you grow, as in when things happen to you. I feel like the universe has designed our lives in such a way that we experience a certain thing when it's the right time, or when it's time for us to actually understand that lesson. Of lately, I've been very irritated and agitated because I've been hoping for things to go my way everywhere, be it friendships, be it work, especially work, be it relationships. And when things don't go my way, it just pisses me off. And, things have not gone my way for years, but of lately it's been very difficult for me to deal with this. I don't want to say failure, but, just small defeats. Work has become a very stressful part of my life, and it is stressful for everybody. Even though you love your work, there will be days when you would not want anything to do with work. And I've just been having those days where I'm just really, really irritated by every small thing that goes off, because in work nothing goes your way. And if you expect things to go your way, you're stupid. I was stupid. Expectations can be the death of you, because everybody has different priorities and you might not be the priority for everyone. Okay, I'll give you an example. The other day, I was upset with one of my friends because I needed her help, and she was too busy for me. Now, this sounds very normal, and I know I shouldn't freak out over such a small thing, but I have always been there for her, and I've always helped her out whenever she needed. There's been times when she needed help with her work, and I've left my work aside, or I've postponed my commitments to be there for her. And this once that I've asked for help, I'm not a person who asks for help all the time. I like to be self-sufficient. So this once I asked for her help and, she's too busy for me, I was upset. Now what do? Do I break off this friendship just because she wasn't there for this one moment in my life? Of course not. I was genuinely upset, and I was talking to my mom about this, and I was telling her that, I thought I could trust her. She's really close to me and she's one of my best friends, and she couldn't do this much for me. And she said, "Hold on a second, Roshni. Is it trust or is it your expectation? What is it?" And I was like, what? Because, I trust her. That is why I expect something from her, right? If I didn't trust her, why would I expect something from her? And she's like, "No, these are two different things. You need to differentiate them." And that made me think, because she just my mom likes to be very mysterious about these things, so she'll drop a bomb and leave the room. So she just told me that I need to think about this. I need to think about trust and expectations and make whatever I can out of it. So, me being me, I went online and I Googled trust and expectations. So, I'm just going to Google it right in front of you and tell you the definition of trust and expectation. So, trust means firm belief in the reliability, truth, or ability of someone or something. It's basically saying that you can rely on someone. You always expect, this person to tell you the truth, or just believe that this person is able to take the right decisions or make the right choices. To expect is to consider probable or certain, or to consider reasonable, due, or necessary, to consider bound in duty or obligated. Ooh. To consider reasonable, due, or necessary. This is a thinker, because reasonable to who? Necessary for who? If a job or a task is necessary, I will find it reasonable for anybody to help me with that or to do something for me in regards to that. So in short, it's a need-based or requirement-based concept. Expectation. Trust is completely different. When you trust someone, you trust them to make the right choice. But the right choice may not be in your favor all the time. You might trust them to be there for you, be by your side. You can trust that. They are a pillar for you, a pillar of support, and they will be. But that doesn't mean that they should leave whatever is right for them or whatever is their priority for you. Trust is not an obligation to just be your servant 24/7. That makes me think a lot, because in relationships, we tend to mix this up every time, right? We get into a relationship expecting certain things from our partner. It's because, this is how we are and this is our requirements for an ideal relationship. And we expect this person, whoever's in front of us, to be exactly how we've imagined. But you know what? This may or may not be the case. The person that we've chosen might not fulfill all our expectations. But that doesn't mean that this person is not to be trusted. Just because my boyfriend isn't calling me 24/7 or texting me, "Hey baby, how are you doing?" and tell me about his day every single time, doesn't mean that he won't be there for me when I actually need his support or his presence in my life. So it kind of clears out the whole confusion of expectation versus trust. And after reading a few articles on that and reading the meanings and kind of deep diving into the whole thought process, I realized that just because I trust a person doesn't mean that I can expect anything out of them. Be it friendships or be it relationships, be it family as well. Just because you trust your mom or your dad doesn't mean that, they will leave everything that is important to them to do something for you. If you trust them to always make the right decision, you should also trust them that that right decision might not be in your favor. If, let's talk about my friend. My friend didn't think that it was her priority to help me out with my work, because her priority was her own work. And that says it. It's her priority. And that is her as a person. I should just accept her for the person she is and not expect her to be the person I want her to be. because those are two different things. Am I making sense here? In relationships, it becomes something different, something very close to your heart. So hurting is a little inevitable, But when it comes to work, how do you separate your expectations from your work, from the trust you have in people? Now, I am trusting a said employee with the tasks that he has been given. Okay, I trust him that he'll do a good job. I'll trust him that he'll deliver on time, but expecting him to be exactly like me or just work exactly the way I work would be a stupid move. Expecting someone to, be as efficient as you. I am really talking myself up. But what I mean to say is, if you're an efficient person, you cannot expect somebody to be as efficient as you. Because expecting that will set you up for disappointment, will make them look bad, and will hide their main characteristics or their, the places where they shine. So if you're in a work environment and you have a colleague or an employee who has been given a certain task, which you can do in 2 hours, so just naturally you happen to expect this person to also get it done in 2 hours without understanding the person's capabilities or without understanding the person's priorities, or if that person has other tasks on their list, or whatever, it can be anything. Without understanding that person's side, you're just expecting them to get the same thing done in the 2 hours just because you can also do it, just because it's your necessity, just because it's something that you would want or you would do. Understand their limitations, understand where they come from, and then set your targets or set your goals or set your deadlines. So not just you, but even that person gets a chance to shine, gets a chance to perform well, and gets the proper amount of time to do something, or get the freedom to do as they would do it. And that brings me to a much broader topic that I wanted to talk about today, and that is life lessons. In the journey of your life, there are these lessons that come your way, and you've not ever experienced it before, or you've not ever even thought of it before, and you wonder, why hasn't this lesson hit me earlier in my life? And the reason for it is, maybe you were not ready. And the reason for it is, maybe you were not ready to actually fathom it or understand what it is. This whole thought of my expectations versus my trust is something that I can understand right now, and I can differentiate right now, but I wouldn't be able to even understand this a few years ago, because maybe I never came across this situation where I had to question this. And throughout your life, you will learn more lessons and have newer experiences that will teach you so many things. So yeah, I want to talk about my life lessons that I've come across up until now, and some things that I've just researched and understood. It might just help you answer your problems. So here we go. Number 1 would be to not expect. Do not expect people to do things blindly just because you do not expect people to do things just because you want them done. Okay, think about it. Expectation is a very need-based concept. So if you need something done, you will start expecting the people around you to kind of help you with it. For example, you need to bake a cake and you find this task extremely complex. So you want people, or you need people to help you. Whoever's around you, you want them to, join in and offer their help. Like my brother would come into the kitchen and he would just look around and he'd be like, "Ooh, you're making a cake," but he would not offer to help. So in my head, I would be like, why didn't he offer to help? That's so mean. That's so rude. I help him all the time. He should also help me make a cake. No, it's just because he has some other priority. He has another purpose to fulfill. So he will concentrate on that. This is something that you have taken up. So you need to find a solution to it. Eliminating unnecessary expectations will save you so much pain. You will learn to be more giving. You will learn to be more nicer and more compassionate towards people. You will learn how to accept people for who they are. And that is a very difficult thing. Accepting people for who they are. I find it so difficult. I am a person who likes to change things, who likes to make everything right. And like when I'm not able to make something right, I'm irritated. So accepting people for who they are is something that will help you direct your expectations towards something a lot more important. Now, if there's something really urgent and serious in your life, and you really, really, really need somebody to help you out or somebody to be there for you, the rocks of your life, these people should help you out. In such situations, expectation is a very, very basic thing. But we're not talking about those situations. We are talking about day-to-day life and really small, small things that, just bother us and make us a sour person. So do not expect. Second would be to not make everything about yourself. Oh my God. I can't tell you how personally I've started taking everything in my life. I'm a Pisces, so I'm a very emotional person. Everything that happens in my life, it goes straight to my heart, all right? Anything, there is no filter. It's raining today. It's not sunny outside. How will I get my work done? I am hurt. The weather is not in anybody's control. How can that hurt you? It's hurt me. I have been upset over weather. My friends met without me and I was not invited for this thing. Oh, I'm hurt. Is the whole world not allowed to meet without you? Are you that important a person that nothing in this world can happen without you? Is that not a possibility? Again, coming back to accepting people for who they are and accepting life as it is very difficult, but it's very important. Because whenever you start taking the smallest things seriously, the only person it's going to bother is you. If you're not invited to a party, don't take it seriously. It's not about you. It could be another reason. I mean, there is a possibility it could be about you, but it's not always the reason. So how nice would it be to just think that it's not the reason, it's not about you, it saves you the pain, it saves you the trouble, and world is a happy place. I came across this lesson, I think a few years ago, when I was part of a really big friend group, and every small thing started to suddenly hurt me. Every small thing that happened in that, within that friend circle started going right to my heart. And maybe it could have been about me, maybe it's not about me. But if I would have considered the latter, considered that it's not about me, it would have saved me so much heartbreak. I could have just lived a chill life. So keep your fragile heart in the freezer for a second, let it chill. Because not everything is about you. Not everything is a crisis, okay? You need to take life lightly. You need to enjoy the small moments and not make such a big deal about it, all right? Third one is don't be overly positive. By that, I mean two words: toxic positivity. When you go on social media, you see these people telling you to always be happy and always be bubbly and always be just, smiling like a bowl of sunshine. That is just not a realistic goal to have. You know those bubbly female characters in a movie? For example, Geet from Jab We Met. She's like the epitome of sunshine, rainbows, and happiness. And still, that girl goes through all the emotions throughout the movie. She's the bubbliest person you've ever met. वो अपनी favorite है. And still, she goes through heartbreak, trauma, family issues, I don't know, fight with her boyfriend, really toxic boyfriend, and everything, from the good to the bad. She also has a happy ending, which I don't know about. But I'm just saying that even the happiest character you've seen on the screen has issues in her life. It's because it is very natural to have emotions. You cannot just be happy all the time. And believe me, it sounds like a no brainer, but it's so difficult to convince yourself to be this normal person because you've seen everything on social media. You see people just, being happy all the time, and you feel like, why am I not happy all the time? Why am I fighting with my partner? Why am I not, always giggling and dancing with my friends? I learned this lesson when I was on the brink of depression. I was in a point in my life where I was really sad, but I was pushing myself to show a persona that is always smiling. Smiling. But inside, I was really hurting, and I couldn't show that. Happiness is a fruit of all your battles. So, without all the trauma, the pain, the sad days, you will not be able to cherish your happy days. A person who's always happy, a person who can only be happy, is actually really sad inside. If you meet a person who's, always pumping energy, it's because they are putting an extra effort to just hide the pain in their heart. I have been through the phase where I've put on a plastic smile and pretended to be happy all the time. And instead of actually healing me, the happiness was actually eating me alive, if that makes sense. I was just putting in so much more energy trying to be happy for other people, or try to show that I'm living this perfect life, that I did not allow myself bad days. I did not allow myself to be sulky or sad or quiet. And that's why the day I learned my lesson, the day I realized what I'm doing is extremely toxic for myself, I stopped it. I allow myself to feel the feelings. So if I'm feeling happy, you'll see my happy side. You'll see me smiling, jumping with joy. But if you see me, just quiet and I don't feel like talking to you right now, it's not because I hate you. It's just because I'm maybe having a very dull day. Maybe, things are not going my way, and it is taking too much energy for me to talk. So that is why I'm quiet. Or maybe I'm really pissed off and angry one day, I'm enraged. But if you're in a professional environment, I know you cannot show rage. But what you can choose is to just, be quiet or not react, or find a medium to actually let it out without showing your anger. So, in movies, when a person is very frustrated, some friend takes them to like a junkyard and be like, break everything. Here's a hammer, break it. It's a release of anger. But there are softer ways of doing it, I'm sure. So there could be like just maybe breaking a plate. or screaming into a pillow works. Moral of the story: feel your feelings, let it flow naturally, and just watch. you will feel much more in your skin. You'll feel like you have control over yourself. With time, those happy days will be more than the bad days. Enjoy it, cherish it, juice it all out. And when you have the bad days, allow yourself an outlet. Allow yourself something that would help you work with those feelings. Don't hide it, don't fake it. Okay? The fourth one would be, don't try to be like anybody else. By that I mean, you have a friend that's naturally confident and can speak to anyone, but you are not a person who is that extroverted, and you are not a person who likes to just jump from social gatherings to social gatherings, talking to a million people in a day. But you envy this person for who they are. They are a very nice person to be around. It's a very good energy to have somebody who has always something to talk about, to kind of entertain the crowd. But doesn't mean that you need to be that person. You don't need to emulate the characteristics of your friend to be liked. Likability is a very important factor for all of us. We definitely want people to like us. We obviously want everybody to think good of us. But just because that person has those things as their strength doesn't mean that that can be your strength. It could make you look fake or not genuine or look like a forced effort, because it's not you. Instead, I would suggest understanding your strengths and weaknesses. If you know that you're not a very talkative person, but you are a very kind and giving person, so instead of words, you could do something really kind for them, or help them out when they need you, or be there for them, or just anything that makes you you. When you put light on your qualities, you'll see that the world will accept you much, much better. Every human being comes on this earth with their key elements. They have something new to offer to their society. So if you just concentrate on what works for you, your strengths, then life will be very easy. You will be you, authentic you, and life will seem a lot more easier by just doing these things. You will be you, authentic you, and life will be so much more easier if you just accept who you are and be yourself. Number 5 would be, not everybody can like you. The beauty of society is that you can pick and choose the people you want to be around. That means you don't need to like everyone and they don't need to like you. So many people like spicy food. I just can't handle spicy food, and it's not because it's bad. It's just not for me. If you can have choices and taste in food, you can have choices and taste in people. My people-pleasing nature did not agree with this at all. I want everybody to like me, but it's just not possible. Everybody will not like you. I have so many people that I can name that hate me, and I can do nothing to make them like me. And you know what? I've let it go. Just surround yourself with people that you like and they like you back, and life will be so much easier. You might come across people that you don't like, or they might not like you back. But those situations are always a conditional circumstance. In such situations, you don't need to like the person or they don't need to like you. All you can do is be a nice person. And that's it. As long as you try to be a better person, as long as you try to be a nicer person, you're good. So I think I spoke about 5 life lessons, right? And you might have found something really common in all of these. I'm going to give you a second. Making your life easy. At the end of the day, it's your life. And you need to be able to enjoy your life. So doing things that remove the unwanted stresses that you have in your life will make things so much easier. In the last episode, I spoke about how I'm being really hard on myself. I'm trying to play life on the easy mode and not, this is fucking difficult, you can't do this, babe, mode. I'm a very selfish person and I don't like doing things alone. So that is why I shared these things with you today. So you can also do it with me and we can fix each other. But anyway, thanks for listening to me. I really hope you picked up something from this episode. As always, you can reach out to me on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Blahber Podcast. You can share your suggestions on topics that you would like me to talk about on this podcast. You can find fun highlights of each episode on our Instagram page and you can share it with your friends. I'm going to go now make myself a tuna sandwich because I'm starving. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.